Greetings from the country of Armenia, the resting place of Noah's Ark. My name is Jacob Persley. I want to share with you a story that, in spite of all of the inconveniences of being detained by Russian military and being warned sternly by the Russians, God has allowed us to reach the least reached people here in Armenia and the furthest village that you can get to. And let me tell you the story. So one of our ministries is strategically located on the border of Iran. And we started the ministry in the summer of 2020. Now we have a church on that border city. Its name is Agarak. And we have home groups now in 4 different villages. So before that, there was no church plant, there was no gospel witness, there was nobody preaching the Bible. Armenia was plagued with 70 years of atheism and Soviet suppression of Christianity. And the spiritual consequences are felt very strongly in that region. And it's so remote that nobody goes down there. I mean, it's so difficult to get to from the capital city. So that's another issue. So since 2020, we've been struggling to reach the most remote village. I'm not going to say the name, but it borders Azerbaijan. And to drive to it, you have to drive what's on the what's now known as the TRIPP route. It's the Trump route for international peace and prosperity, the Trump route. The thing is it's not built up yet. So when you're trying to get to the area, you have to go through dirt roads, potholes. It takes 2 hours to get 10 miles. The other thing about this village is it's been cut off from the entire country by the Russian military. So they had barriers and guards, the barriers that come down and guards, so nobody could actually get to it. Only villagers were allowed in or out, or some people that were in that area making deliveries. And so it was really blocked for missions work for us for a couple years, and I was so annoyed by this. But anyway, we began to send some Armenian locals from our church down there. I'm meaning from the region. I'm not talking about Armenian people. They won't even let Armenians into those regions. You have to be like local from there. Anyway, so this road, again, like I said, is almost impassable. You have to have a 4-wheel drive. You're on these dirt holes. It's really hard to get to. Anyway, so that being said, we were not able to do a whole lot of outreach there until President Donald J. Trump announced the TRIPP route. So the Russians took down the barriers on the road. However, they were still and have been patrolling the area. Our ministry team began to drive out there, again, to their own danger, but to evangelize, and they began a weekly home group in this village, the first time in hundreds of years probably. So now we've baptized several people in that village, and it's not been without difficulty. And so recently, very recently, our team that went out there to lead a Bible study, they were there leading the Bible study, and while they were there was a new visitor. It was a man from the village, probably in his 60s, and he professed faith in Jesus Christ. I mean, that's just so amazing to see God's blessing and grace and how he's using the ministry. However, on their way back to to Agarak, the city, the Russian military stopped our guys and our team, and they were detained by the Russian military, and they taken to the Russian military base, interrogated for 7 hours. And this is the 3rd time this has happened in the last year. One of our teams was interrogated for 9 hours. And this is a continual issue with the Russians down there. And again, they were warned never to go back to the village again. But we praise God. The new news is that the Russian military will not be there much longer. And that when America begins the construction on that TRIPP or the Trump route, not only will we have unheated access to our church in the village, but the travel time will be about 20 minutes and not 2 hours, because the United States is going to repair the road. So it's going to be a trade route between Azerbaijan to Armenia through Turkey and beyond. But what's amazing is that it's going to help our missions efforts. And I just wanted to share that story about how we were able to reach the least reached village, and how we've seen professions of faith there. Continue to pray for our ministry on the border as it continues to reach many of the Armenians that are unreached in the area, but also we engage with Persians that cross the border as well. God bless.